On today's show, social media is on our mind. How does it affect education, and what are the benefits not only to the school, but to the students and parents? We're going to go back to an interview we had with Taylor Siebert with ClassIntercom from ICE 2019 to talk some shop. There's an East Initiative update, some banter between the guys, all that and more up next on EduTechGuys. You're listening to the EduTechGuys, EduTechGuys.com. Hello and welcome to EduTechGuys. I'm David Henderson.
Hey, I'm Jeff Matlock.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and downloading the episode.
Downloading the episode. Well, if you want to get the lowdown, just go out to the web.
Lowdown on the download.
And you can find us, www.edutechguys.com. Hey, you can also find us on social media. Heck, I say it every time. Just go to Google, type in EduTechGuys, and you're going to find these two beautiful made-for-radio mugs, eye candy for sound, right there, looking back at you in Bitmoji, because we wouldn't put the real thing out there because it would scare the children.
It would scare the kids. we can't do that. However, on Halloween...
I'm going as myself.
Exactly.
Franken, oh my goodness. Hey, but listen, if you want to catch us on social media, please do. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of them. Just DM us. Let us know what you think, what you want to do. If you want to come on the show, just let us know what your topic is, what your passion is, your forte, as they would say.
Your forte.
Hey, your forte. You know, we're deep in the middle of summer. We're through with Independence Day. I still got all my fingers and toes, so I didn't blow anything off. And, we're getting ready. Most schools are now back into the PD grind, getting their professional development out of the way. And
I just want to say, I've seen the to-do list that you have on your wall at the office. Yeah, you've blown a lot off.
Hey, no, I haven't really.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, there you go. Hey, you know the next holiday coming up.
This is like Fight Club. We don't talk about that. The first rule of the list on the walls. We don't talk about the list.
We don't talk about the list on the walls. No,
so anyway, what holiday's coming up?
The next holiday coming up. Let's see. I guess right after whatever the big holiday is in early September, whatever that is, Labor Day, Memorial Day, whatever that is.
See, you do the same thing. I can't ever remember.
I don't remember which is which. I think Labor is after. I think Memorial Day is one we had.
You know, we probably should cut this from the show because people are thinking, these guys don't even, how old are they? And they don't know when the national holiday is.
Okay, so.
No, I was joking, actually. I mean, we're going to leave it in here.
Okay, well then, okay.
I got nothing. I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed of anything. I don't know about you.
I suddenly feel like Neebs Gaming. That'll be a reference that some of you will get. Others will be like, what's Neebs Gaming? All right, anyhow, what I was going to say was the storming of Area 51.
Oh, that's right. That'll become a national holiday. I saw a new meme that was that you're going to get there and it's going to be a Dollar General store.
Yes, I saw that.
That one makes me laugh too.
Or there was another one where it was, and I can't think of who was in the picture. But anyway, it said what Area 51 looks like after the government moves everything to Area 52. And it's just a big empty warehouse. And some dude was standing there, and I can't think of who it was, but anyway.
So the big thing now is people are taking their dining room tables, and they're taking all their action figures, and they're putting them out and creating what they think it'll look like when they storm
I've not
Area 51.
seen that.
And I think that's hilarious.
That is hilarious. Yeah,
so I saw one that had like some Star Wars on this side and some little Green Army men and some Transformers and, and all this stuff, and some, buildings made out of shoeboxes and stuff.
I need to do that with all of my Pop Funko Star Wars
That'd be hilarious. See,
I'll have all of my Cleveland Indian stuff on one side, storming against all of the Star Wars and what have you.
So what you're going to say? We're gonna go to Area 51 and find the Cleveland Indians?
Yeah, that's right. That's really what's in Area 51.
So that's where Wild Thing's been all this time.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Bob Feller, Satchel Paige, Cy Young, all those guys, they didn't die. They're all hanging out at Area 51. It makes sense.
That's Cleveland Rocks. It's just trying to get us to Cleveland, so we don't know they're all at Area 51.
That's right.
Boy, you talk about digressing on a show.
That's right.
Seriously, though, we found all this information on social media. That's where you find it all, right?
So there's a segue.
We've been talking about social media for a long time. David and I do a lot on social media, not as much as we probably should do, but we do a lot of. everyone lives and dies by social media on this day and age. I mean,
by today's standards, yeah.
And it's not just about food and your grandkids and your dog pictures. It's now become the ipso facto of marketing. I mean, it just really has for everything. And schools have realized that, they did some time ago, but now we're getting to the point where even some really savvy educators have realized that this is the way to get information to the masses. This is the quickest and easiest way to get the same information to students, parents, community, the whole bit. And, we were lucky enough when we were at ICE to meet and talk with Taylor Siebert, who's with ClassIntercom. And ClassIntercom makes this whole process, really easy. Yeah. And we've been talking about this a lot. And we've been talking to a lot of students about, I need to do this and this and this. Well, hey, we see you're really good at social media. Have you thought about making that your side hustle? Or, the opportunities that exist at the university level in training and stuff like that. Social media is not just about taking some cute food pictures. It's about marketing. It's about writing copy. It's about creating engaging graphics and videos. And the opportunities are not just about, I think, education, schools getting their word out. It's like the opportunities for students. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah. That's I'm thinking back, my brain's kind of taking a step back when schools were first really, frankly, reluctant to even get on the web at all, to even have any kind of a web presence. So finally, you get a bunch of the schools and other education facilities who finally get themselves online with websites, but we're so far beyond that in terms of being able to put out information that is time sensitive in terms of, yes, emergency situations. We're here in Arkansas, and we recently had this crazy torrential downpour from Tropical Storm Barry came rolling through, and oh my gosh, it was a complete disaster. And social media helped out with that aspect, but also in terms of just reaching out to, like you said, if you've got teachers reaching out to their parents, you've got administrators reaching out to the parents, but it's also that student aspect, especially. You've got students who are wanting to get into or who are already on, Instagram. Some of the students still play around on Twitter. In addition to whatever other social media is coming down the pike and is already here that the old folks like us don't know about yet. That's where they live. And so you find those students who love doing that, take that, harness it, show them how they can take really cool graphics, pictures that they take themselves, pictures that they get from other folks, legally. Teachers, other students, whatever. And how to write that engaging copy, how to share that out effectively, how to tag things so that they get the responses that they want. It's beautiful.
Well, and like I said, and the opportunities, ClassIntercom gets this. They realize you put the power in the students' hands. And still make sure that you're there to oversee what's happening. And we'll let Tyler talk about that interview. So this interview you're going to hear is from ICE at the conference. You'll hear some background noise. This was a live interview at a conference. So we hope you enjoy it. Take a listen to one of our sponsors, and then we'll jump into that interview. So, hey, we'll be right back after this.
I've been in education for more than 20 years, and I've seen the challenges some students have to face every day. Whether it's going to school hungry or not being able to see a doctor when they're sick, these challenges can make it hard for kids to focus on learning.
Thankfully, Concordia University in Portland is leading the way with their 3 to PhD program that helps to combat student fears, freeing them to pursue their high streams. They're revolutionizing education by creating a holistic model that provides groceries, health care, and even clothing to students right there on campus, helping them thrive and helping our communities strengthen and grow.
Yeah, Concordia's College of Education offers online and on-campus programs where students have the opportunity to learn about a more compassionate approach to education and to see how nurturing the whole student can lead to amazing things.
You know what? To learn more about how you can help students conquer their monsters and achieve their highest dreams, visit cu-portland.edu/let's conquer. #nurture, educate, grow.
You're listening to an interview recorded at the ICE 2019 conference in Schaumburg, Illinois. Enjoy the program.
Hey, welcome back to ICE 2019. We're the EduTechGuys, and we have the seat filled right now, and we're pretty excited to have our next guest. We're going to let him tell us who he is, where he's from, and all that kind of good stuff. So here we go.
Awesome. Thank you guys for giving me this opportunity here at ICE. This is my second time being at ICE, and excited to be here. So I am an entrepreneur, passionate about ed tech, and live in Nebraska, actually. So we got out in Nebraska after the blizzard, which I know you guys probably don't experience
in
a ton
Arkansas,
down in Arkansas.
No, yeah.
A lot of rain.
Yeah.
Yes. So started a company 7 years ago with the passion of giving students new learning opportunities around live streaming and new media, education opportunities. And through that, we started hosting conferences and workshops with students and teaching them how to create social media content for their school. What we were missing was we would send them off to their school super excited about creating social media content, and then they would get back and they couldn't do anything with that.
I was just going to say,
right? And so at a conference, I started inviting a friend of mine who comes from the finance space, who's the co-founder of ClassIntercom, Ben Pankinen. He started talking to students about marketing and social media from his perspective, and he got into a conversation with a group of 4 ladies at a school who were ecstatic about the opportunity that they were going to have at their school to create social media content. And he goes, whoa, hold up. How are you actually doing that? And they pointed down to a sticky note on their laptop that had the username and password to the school's Twitter account on it. And that was our light bulb moment. He goes, hey man, we got a software that we built for banks that could maybe translate into education. And I knew right away, I was like, I'm all in. I want to be a part of this. And so we partnered up to form ClassIntercom over 2 years ago, and been on this journey, still running and operating my other business, Strive, and doing this now and taking the things we've learned, working with schools and students to give them this opportunity to create content safely for their school.
Okay, so let's talk about that side of it, right? Because you have these students super excited to go back, put out the content. Of course, the school goes, that ain't happening. You know, we're not going to give you free reign over our Twitter account. You have these other folks who come by, and again, they've got the Twitter account on a sticky note. Welcome to our world.
Yes.
So what does Classroom Intercom do in order to help mitigate all of that?
So we connect to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So an administrator goes in, adds those usernames and passwords, protects any students or anyone else from doing that. And then ClassIntercom creates an account for a student just with their email. We single sign on with Google so they can log in. And then there's 4 different levels of roles and permissions that you can have. Contributors and writers are typically students who all they can do is submit content, and it goes through a moderation process. A teacher and admin can look at it, and then once they approve it, then it gets pushed out to those social media platforms. So a lot of safety and security. Remember, this was built for banks, and over 1,200 banks across the country use this same product. And now we're taking this into education and realizing there's a lot of similarities there.
Yeah.
We're just having it used in a different application using students. So what we have found, though, is this does not come natural to students. So that's why I did a session yesterday and teaching schools how to build a student social media team. It's the classic ed tech tool fail, right? Just hand them the app and magically they'll start creating content, and that's just not the case, right?
Right, exactly.
And you guys know from starting a podcast and things like that, it takes practice, repetition. You have to love it, you have to enjoy it. And so teaching students how to create purposeful, meaningful content and becoming a part of what we're calling #content gen is a total mind shift for schools to understand that, but the ones that are doing it are seeing phenomenal results with students.
I'm just going to say the fact that you have tiers of permissions and you have approvers, that's awesome for education. And like you said, you basically took what you were doing for banks and modified it. I know a company or two that could probably, in fact, there's probably a government agency that could probably use it.
A president? Right, let's just
just saying, there might be somebody who might need that approval level before
we have
post.
great job security with this startup because we're trying to train this future generation because digital citizenship, right? Teaching kids to be digital leaders, and they know how to take a selfie on Snapchat and put text over it, but they don't know how to create content for someone other than themselves, which we want to take that. Why not give them that opportunity in school? And now you have guys like this guy behind you that creates video content for me full time. Got people doing podcasts. A lady in the expo hall just told me of a student that's starting to teach beginners and high school and college students how to do things in the stock market. Has 15,000 followers on Instagram. just so many opportunities with the internet, and you guys have seen that firsthand with what you're doing.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask about. We see a lot of startups, and we see a lot of companies, and the ones that get it, that really understand, they have a core belief that this is what needs to happen, and they take something that personally happened to them. So, what was it that? So tell me that story. What made this happen? Because everything we do is about something that touched us personally.
Yeah, it's all about stories, right? That's been my theme.
It is. That's what we're trying to do, is help tell stories.
And so I'm that kid back in high school. I tell this story across to students and staff across Nebraska, and now branching out to more schools as we expand our reach. I got an 18 on my ACT, not once but twice. And I was that kid. I got my first white MacBook in college my senior year and fell in love with GarageBand, iWeb, Photos, and iMovie, and I just love creating content. Me and my buddies did that, and so now I've taken those things and applied those now in my work life. I wanted to be a teacher, thought I wanted to be a coach and a teacher, but had that desire to be an entrepreneur and kind of have molded those things in together. And I always talk about a test did not define who I was. Connect, serve, and work are my 3 pillars of my life. And now I want to share that with students, and ClassIntercom is just like one piece of the pie, right? That's helping students understand, hey, there's this whole world outside of school, and you can do it now, or you can wait and do it later to make a living doing podcasting, creating videos, and things like that. It's an exciting time to be alive.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I'm glad to see entrepreneurs realizing that they're creating a lifestyle for themselves, and they're creating a lifestyle for others. They're creating an economy that can handle that. But they're doing passionate things. And my generation was, you got to go to college. And that's what was pushed into us. Got to go to college, and it took me a long time to find my path also. And when I got back into as a band director, when I got back into education in the early 90s, literally 90. But when I got back, I started seeing these students that are geniuses, but they're making an 18 on the ACT. They're almost failing out of school because they don't want to come.
It's boring.
My sysadmin now is a genius, and he graduated high school, and I brought him in, and but in high school he was bored out of his mind. It's just great to see. This is one avenue that you're providing school districts this opportunity to find those kids, like esports.
Very passionate about esports.
This is the same thing. You're catching all those kids that are going, I'm really bored here, so what can I do? Well, guess what? ClassIntercom's going to help you find that niche.
Right, and now with the internet, there are those opportunities, and they can create those things. Whereas, when I was in high school, there was no social media. So we had the yearbook, and we would go back in the dark room and develop photos, and now we just have this whole new economy, like you said, for kids to create content. And so conversation we want to have is teaching kids how to do that, because that just does not come natural necessarily for a lot. Like we tell stories of the ones that it does, but you can talk and preach digital citizenship, but this is taking that and actually applying it and getting it in the hands of the students, but still having that approval process and safety piece.
So
one of the things that you haven't really touched on necessarily, so I don't know where this all fits in, but the idea of providing the professional development to the teachers and frankly administrators to help them understand that what you're doing, working with the students, is actually going to benefit the district overall, and helping the administrators and the educators understand the role of social media for their own school building, classroom, the whole district, helping them understand what it means to be that active part of, yes, the local community, but also the global community through social media.
We are spending most of our time, we're selling a software and a platform to schools at a pretty good, affordable rate. We're spending most of our time on education and resources, webinars, trainings, and different things like that, because it's not about the app and the tool. It's about training. And what I tell staff a lot of times is, hey, social media started at the same time for the kids as it did for us. We're all learning together. We just happen to be older and get access to it a little bit sooner. But you're right. Like, we are teaching educators, and we've seen some really neat things happen where they have stepped up their game because they're seeing students that are creating phenomenal graphics, and so they want to be a part of that too.
Right.
And so they're creating different content like, a podcast, or they're creating graphics, and they're doing a lot more as well.
Yeah.
And it's creating some great energy and buzz, and the culture is changing in the school because of that excitement.
That's very cool.
So let's get into the nuts and bolts, the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Tell us, the first day. Give our listeners an idea of what it's like. So we come on board and we're with ClassIntercom.
Yeah.
What are our teachers and our students going to get, and what do we get? What social platforms are we talking about? And cross posting and all the talk. I don't know all that.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So I mentioned affordable. So we're under $1,000 a year, unlimited users.
Wow.
And you can add 4 of your school's social media accounts, and that can be either we connect to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and LinkedIn if a school has LinkedIn.
Okay.
And so we wanted it to be something where it didn't affect how many students you wanted to be in there, so we weren't going to charge per user, so it is a flat rate. And what you get is a training session with me to kick it off. You get access to the platform right away. You start adding your social media channels, start adding users, and then we have a bunch of content and resources built around that. We do every other week Zoom sessions now, sharing ideas of schools, because every school is kind of doing differently. There's not a one-size-fits-all on how to build a student social media team. We have some schools that just have staff, right? And so the classic example, we did a case study with a school up in Minnesota, a business teacher that has students creating social media content for their activities in athletics, okay? In the past, he had all of them creating graphics and copy, and they would email him. And he would get 50 emails a week, and then try and copy and paste that, download the photo, and then put it on social media.
Right.
And you can guess what happened. Not everything got pushed out.
Yeah.
So he discovered what we were doing, and he's able to now create a workflow and a process, and he simply just hits approve or deny. And students are graded on how much content they push out. They're assigned a sport, and they create a game day graphic with a picture, the 2 school logos, the time. They create the copy, so very cross-curricular for the students. They're writing. I always joke, we want to teach kids how to spell you, not the letter U. It's Y-O-U.
Exactly.
Yes.
Punctuate, punctuation, put your school hashtag, branding. So there's just so many great learning opportunities for students in putting together just a single social media post through this, and it helps educators save time. And so we work with a lot of, could be even the superintendent if it's a smaller district, to a communications PR, marketing person, all the way down to a business teacher that's executing this and creating the workflow for their school.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, it's fun.
I love the idea because, excuse me, I love the idea because we talk about it all the time with a lot of administrators.
Yes.
That this is a whole new course curriculum.
Yeah.
And that's
It's a
what
class.
That's what
Yeah.
you're building.
Yep.
And what you guys are offering by the continual support, the blanket support, means that it's the one that they remember. They go, and they talk about. They tell
Right.
other schools, but it's the one the kids go, that's the one that made me realize I need to understand marketing, or I need to understand graphics. And because these graphics are great, but now I want to take it to the next level with whatever, Illustrator or whatever, Canva, whoever they're using.
Yeah. We're doing a webinar next Wednesday.
Yeah.
On simple design for your school's social media, and talking about all the different tools, because graphics are so powerful, right?
Right.
Yes.
And I see all the stickers on your guys' laptops, and schools need to start to embrace, and I know Joe, and there's a lot of advocates and leaders around the country now that are talking about you need to brand your school, and that's just
Right.
not something that has been talked about, especially for public schools, right?
Right.
And you've got it. That's the game, and the attention is on social media to get students involved in that. It's just it makes sense, and now is the time to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I tell the schools that I work at is, someone is going to tell the story about your school. You should be that someone. Why don't let the local newspapers be the ones, or disgruntled parents be the ones who are telling the story
Or a
about your
Facebook
school
video.
district. I mean, really, you have to be proactive and be the ones out there marketing your school. And I know that sounds so anti-education.
I know.
We are so humble, and we don't want to boast, and we don't want to
Not our
brag.
job description to be
It's not,
marketers, right?
yeah, and
But it is.
and you're not boasting, you're not bragging. Although, yeah, sure, there may be part of that. You're telling the story the way it needs to be told.
It's
And that's what
transparent, authentic.
Yep.
You're telling the truth, and sometimes that gets lost in some other forms of media, right? You know what's going on in your school. You know all the awesome things. Let's get everyone on the same page to tell a consistent story to promote our brand, and amazing things can happen. You can see that with schools across the country. We just need more to embrace that, because there's still, I just talked to a school in there that finally got a Facebook page.
Right.
Because they're still scared, or they're blocking comments.
Right.
Yeah.
And we just have to get over this, very old school thought of controlling that message and embracing that. If someone said something bad, at least you know about it.
Right.
And, it's
and
not
you can
happening
do something about it.
And you
The
can
coffee shop.
respond, and you can, the coffee shop, you have no idea what's being said down there.
Yeah.
You hear rumors and things
Right.
like that. A mom or a grandparent puts it on Facebook, at least you know, and you can start a conversation and help them understand the truth about the budget.
Right.
Or the incident that happened at the school and the precautionary things you went through. So it's just, I get goosebumps talking about it, because I'm so excited about it,
Yeah,
and I want to share things I've learned, and I'm still, young in my professional career, and so I'm looking forward to working with a lot more schools and students and see the fruits of that labor.
It's interesting. I like the success story about the teacher taking all the information and filling out a workflow.
Yes.
That's great, because if they can start to understand workflow and what that means now and pass that on to students, that's a really big deal.
It's real world, right?
Yeah.
Especially in a business class. That's what it's going to be like when their boss tells them to create something, and they're accountable for it, and there's no grade for this. It's strictly based on what you produce and the quality of it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
Yeah. So if
I love it. You guys.
a lot of questions, but we're going to wrap up. But that's cool.
Yep.
So if our listeners want to find out more, pick your brain, steal your stuff. No.
Seriously.
Find out what's going down. What's the best way to contact you?
So personally, I'm at Taylor Siebert, TaylorSiebert, and I post a lot about my journey. I do a vlog, create a lot of content. I'm in a lot of schools and talking to students. And then ClassIntercom, we're just at ClassIntercom.
Cool.
On Twitter and all social media. So would love to connect. If you guys have questions, we do provide a lot of free content, webinars and things like that, just to build this story and this idea of getting students involved in this process safely. So
Sure.
Thank you guys for
Thanks,
this
Taylor.
opportunity.
Hey,
This was
Taylor,
great.
thank you.
Hey everyone, I am Alicia Humbard, and this is your East Update. This week, we recap our time at ISTE, the International Society of Technology and Education. East represented in a big way. With 6 presentations and an exhibit booth, East made a ton of connections. We were able to connect with Conwell Egan Catholic High School, an East environment in Pennsylvania. These students led and assisted with our ISTE sessions to talk about East projects and about being in an environment that led to those opportunities. We bumped into facilitators new and returning, as well as tech partners like SketchUp and Esri. It was great to see that East Network in action. Personally, I'm excited to return to ISTE and represent East on the ISTE Equity Action Forum. I am working with a team of educators in the upcoming year from all over the U.S. to dig into equity in student voice. I'm proud to know that East will help in this important work in the upcoming year. Amongst our sightseeing and networking, we brought home a copy of Building Connections and Branching Out, Reinventing Project-Based Learning, Your Field Guide to Real-World Projects in the Digital Age. This book is published by ISTE each year, and it holds several exemplary models of education regarding computer science. Each received a 3-page feature that detailed the impact, structure, and services provided. We are excited to share the work of our students and facilitators with the world. If you are interested in learning more about East and how we are expanding our network, follow us on social media at The East Initiative or visit our website at eastinitiative.org. I am Alicia Humbard, and this has been your East Update.
Hey, thank you so much to April Jackson and all the folks who are involved with the East Initiative. A huge thank you to Matt Dozier, who is the head cheese there at East Initiative. Sorry, my brain fell out of my head there for a minute.
He's the bad paw.
Yes.
So that's a shout out.
We truly do appreciate what they provide to us, but also what they're doing across their entire program.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Massive stuff. And hey, we want to thank Taylor Siebert. He'll be just as shocked to know that we put him on again, but I probably ought to hit him up on social media and say, hey, by the way, we put you on our latest episode.
By the way.
But yeah, ClassIntercom, check them out.
Yeah.
Look for a way to take social media and harness the power for your school and your students. Definitely. Woohoo. Hey, listen, like David said, we will probably, we're looking into right now if we can be at Area 51 so we can live broadcast from the storming of Area 51. We'll be on the back of a flatbed truck with a generator. You know, I'm going to do the speech from Independence Day that the president does right before.
There you go. That's right. Some of you may die. Oh, wait, that's the wrong movie.
Hey, listen, it's been a great show. Keep in touch with us. Don't forget, EduTechGuys.com. You can find us on social media. Hey, it's been a great time, a fun ride. I'm Jeff Madlock.
I'm David Henderson.
We'll catch you next time.
You've been listening to the EduTech Guys. EduTechGuys.com.